And let's go.
And now it's time for Bikes, Mics, and Idiots with your hosts, Ubi and Eric.
Alrighty, guys, here we go again.
Oh, hey, we're actually recording this time, so life is good.
I only had that issue a couple times.
Yeah,
Let's-
that's okay.
It's not too bad. I
No,
mean, we
it
still got
happens.
other stuff recording.
There's a lot of stuff going on. You know, we don't have our checklist up. That's the problem. Did you turn record on?
That's so bad. People are going to end up seeing our little whiteboard we put up.
Yeah.
And they're going to be like, do you guys really have to have that as a checklist?
Yes, because I'm not much help. I still work nights. I'm still not retired yet. It's getting closer, but I'm still not retired yet. So I still work nights. So a lot of times, you know, when we're doing this,
It's
I'm tired.
and it's not even just that. It's so many little things
Yeah.
going on that, like, unless we had like a full setup studio that
Yeah,
was just
which-
constant setup.
Yeah, which would be nice, but
Yeah, we don't have that luxury.
not yet.
One day, maybe if you guys start hitting us with those likes
Likes
and
and subscribes. Yeah, get us some views up there.
get us some comments.
Yep.
Because that's one thing actually we can hit today is we got us some comments on
Oh boy.
on some of our last shorts and stuff.
Uh-oh.
Which was you'll enjoy.
That white guy's racist.
Sadly, it didn't go that direction this time.
No, I didn't.
You're
Well,
not a
that's good.
misogynist this time,
I'm not misogynist. Perfect. I'm everything
once.
that's wrong with society.
apparently. Well, I
Me
mean,
and
you
my
are
privilege.
you are a big white guy.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, I mean, there's no doubting that. That's facts.
The
Facts.
big part of the white.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Both. But
Yeah.
I'm less big. I'm still.
Oh, that's right.
Lessening my bigness.
That's right. Because remember a couple episodes ago, I remember you were having issues keeping your shorts up.
Yep.
That might have been for another reason. No, I'm just playing. No, he was
Yeah.
actually having issues with his shorts. He's like, "Holy crap, these
Yeah.
are so loose on me now."
Or either that, or I've stretched them so much that they gave up. Although they don't have elastic in them, so
Yeah.
they are non-elastic. So that's not that. The elastic gave up.
Threads have
Yeah.
started to slowly,
Yeah,
just like
slowly
loose.
just live. Let me live. Don't stretch me anymore.
So we started getting comments.
Oh, boy.
on, So we had a.
What was the short?
We were. Let's see. What's the name of the short? Melting pot concept of.
Oh, yeah,
of
there you
America.
go. Yeah.
So it was a guy saying that the idea of America being a melting pot was created in the 1960s. America was created by Europeans for Europeans. Claiming that America was created to be some global melting pot is complete BS that has zero basis in historical fact.
I don't think. Yeah, I will go with the original reason they came here was to expand and not create a melting pot.
It wasn't,
I can give them that.
It wasn't to expand, though. Well,
Yeah, it was.
the Pilgrims came because of religious persecution.
Yes, religious persecution. So they fled religious persecution to come to a place where they're able to practice their religion more freely.
Yes. So I mean,
And then the
we are
crown. Then the
idiots.
crown was like, "Ooh, there's a lot of stuff over there we could use, like the lumber that's no longer in London because we've cut it all down, and this and that." Like there was
They're a little
huge-
island.
Yeah,
I mean, what do you expect?
it's my island.
What accent was that?
I don't know.
So, okay, so I'm going to preface all this with
Yeah.
we are the idiots.
Yes.
So we kind of, spitball some things, and we're
But-
not
Yeah,
that well versed on everything we talk about.
yeah, I know. I mean, like we spitball stuff here, like you said, and honestly, I mean, that is what the whole concept of immigration into the U.S. has always been, was to come here, assimilate, and be part of America.
Yes.
So that in that case, yes, maybe the original thought of the founding fathers was not to be that way, but it did transfer. I wouldn't even say it was 60s. I think it was way earlier than the 60s. But
Even
if
then.
you've got a 1960 date in your mind, then okay, I'll give it to you.
I mean,
I'll give you
that's still-
that. It's still
how many
fairly
people-
early in our history.
How many people are still alive today that were alive not saying born in the 60s,
Yeah.
but alive to be cognizant
Influential and
enough
cognizant enough in the 60s.
during
yeah.
the 60s. You know what I mean? So it's kind of...
Nobody, because of Woodstock.
Oh, yeah, that was 60s.
That was, 70s, wasn't it?
It might have been...
During Vietnam,
70.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Anyway.
In that realm.
Well,
Either
68
way.
started Vietnam.
So,
68, basically. Right? 67, 68. So, yeah.
I don't know. Either way, that's ancient time at this point. If you talk
Yeah.
to anybody that's...
Well, anybody who's been born in since 2000 thinks we're the biggest morons on the planet. But yeah, no, but yeah, I mean, that's fine. I mean,
So, and they kind of responded to a
Yeah.
response we had, and they were just saying that most people don't know the first American government, Articles of Confederation, was set up. First was much more libertarian and decentralized,
yes,
but that was a failure. Only lasted 1777 to 1781.
yes.
So, I mean, there's a lot of more nuance than the stuff we
Well,
talked
I mean,
about. I mean,
yeah.
but you
Well, we
see-
appreciate the comments. That's good. I mean, that helps us to, maybe I'll go in and look into stuff more.
Well, but you see,
But, I mean, we made a general idea that, like, right now, the U.S. to be a melting pot, and yes, it was not created to be a melting pot. We understand that. What we're saying is the United States is a melting pot at this point,
yes, very much so,
and it should be.
and
We're honestly the light of freedom in most of the world. Most of the world looks at the United States and said that place is freedom.
yes.
Now, there's a lot of people who don't agree with how we do things, and that's fine. All well and good.
Huh.
What?
I had more comments.
I think
on
I
another
probably got
episode.
deleted.
I wonder if one of our shorts got deleted. Huh. Either way, I mean,
Probably got.
I know the other one had to
Probably
do
got
with it. It may have. I mean, we have been a little more controversial lately,
Yeah.
but
Shoot, last episode I got mad.
oh yeah.
You got me fired up last episode. Well, I
mean,
think
that was-
I don't think the back pain helped any last episode either.
No, definitely doesn't help. Especially
I was already
like
cranky, no
lack of
sleep.
pain, kind of makes you and kind of get you into those moods.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But just kind of wanted to give a little shout out to the guy that left these comments.
Yeah,
Kind of know that we do
what's his
we
name?
do look at it.
Yeah, let's
we do look
let's
at
put
it.
his username on
it's-
YouTube out of there.
It's at Trevor Bull 7532.
Trevor Bull 7532. Hey, thank you for the comments. Thank you for enlightening us a little bit on it. And hey, we always take this stuff as good. Like it's like the comment back in the day. Well, you guys know more about the nuclear subs than the paleontologic record. Yeah, I'm not an archaeologist.
But that's
I've read books about submarines. So yes, I probably do know more about a submarine than a megalodon.
You probably do. But I also wanted to show, like, yes, we're idiots, but at the same time too, we do know quite a bit.
Yeah.
We may not be the most well-spoken all the time, but if we really focus, we can kind of put together a semi-coherent thought.
Well, semi-coherent. We're never fully coherent. That's kind of the whole point of this.
So I'm noticing that you look a little different today. Got some new stuff on,
Oh, yes. I'm not going to get into it.
but the hat.
Oh, yes,
I
yes.
need to
The
check
new
it out.
our new Legion of St. Michael hat that I got with the leather seal, which is pretty nice, I must say.
It is
And a
actually
shout
pretty
out to G Unit from Central for getting this to me. Thank you, brother. Much appreciated.
See, well, there you go. See, people do like you from other places
Yeah,
sometimes.
kind of.
Well, but that's also, you're a little more professional-ish when it comes to...
Well, not necessarily at nationals themselves, but
No, but in general. people
yeah,
kinda
no,
see
I
that
mean,
side of you.
I definitely lead a certain way.
Somehow you have a lot of respect. when it comes
Internally,
to-
yes. I would like to think I'm very well respected internally from our club, but I'm
And-
sure there's guys,
and at
because
work.
unfortunately there's guys I've chewed out as well. Like, hey, you're messing this up. Stop.
But see, that comes with the territory.
Yeah,
You can't-
you're never gonna have a perfect thing slide through.
And there is those people that will take that to heart as like, oh, I can't believe you're singling me out, or you're such a jerk because you put me in my place.
Well, but it was always done privately, so that's what I do. It's the same concept I've done as a supervisor my whole career: praise publicly, admonish privately.
As it should be.
Yeah.
And I think we've gone away from that a lot because you.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I will say one of our guys got in a car wreck the other day, and I gave him a lot of crap publicly about it because he was one of the guys who whined and cried about getting, I've got all this seniority, I should have a new vehicle. So we gave him a new vehicle, and within a week he crashed it. And I will give him credit. He owned up to it and said, it was my fault. I totally saw the light and was like, oh yeah, look, that's red, and kept driving. And he's like, that was on me. It was it was 1 o'clock in the morning, midnight, between midnight and 1 o'clock in the morning. So beginning a shift, just in the brain fog. And of course I gave him crap for it, but that's just me.
But that's
if I hadn't have, he would have been like, something's wrong. I'm in really big trouble if he's not saying anything.
So that kind of comes with the territory as well. You gotta, there's a, what's the word for it?
There's an acceptable form of
shame.
Yeah.
Shaming, and that's really what it is.
We're not talking about Cersei Lannister. Shame. Ding, 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 ding.
You're not putting them in the, what was they called, the stocks?
The stocks, the
You're not
stockade.
putting them in the stockade. Yeah, you're not putting them in
The stocks, yeah, no. On public display.
It's
Now,
not
he
one of
laughed
those.
about it. He was like, yeah, he goes, I knew you were going to say something. So he knew, I mean, I've known the guy for 20 years. So he's like, yeah, I knew you were going to say something because he goes, you looked over at me and just started to smile. And he was like, oh no. He knew it was coming.
And for the people that don't know, Eric has a different smile for different things.
Oh, yes.
And there's a very mischievous smile that he has
Maybe.
sometimes. And it's never.
And
good
I don't
news.
think you've ever seen it here, probably.
No, probably not on the podcast.
No, not on the podcast. But people who know me in person know that all of a sudden they'll be like, uh-oh, here it comes. So, yeah, because I've had guys say, I knew something was coming just by the look on your face.
Exactly. And I'm sure I have the same thing, but.
Oh, yeah. It's called the poop eating grin.
There you go. Yes, very much.
I'm trying to save you from the last episode where I went off on a tangent and just started trying to catch up to Steve.
We should hook you up on a blood pressure machine so we know, all right, this episode's going to be one of those.
Yeah.
But I think
It might lead me to take some extra blood pressure meds, and then I'll pass out during the episode, which wouldn't be good.
Hey, that could be our monitor.
Hey, look,
of
his blood pressure's 4. I think he died.
I think we need to call the ambulance. Oh, if only we had one of those. I don't have
we
that
do.
on here. Oh, do you? There you go.
Come on, baby girl.
Your one job.
Look, and it even goes from
One side
right to
the
left.
other. It goes across the board.
That's
So-
still right to left on your side. I know you're looking at me, and right to left is this way for me, but it does change when you're facing the other direction. I'm just saying.
It's one of those. Hold on, let me.
I said right to left, and you were like, this way. Okay.
Yeah, I had one of those.
It
moments.
happens.
But let's go into one of the topics today.
Yeah, what do you got?
Because it's something that we've actually talked about in private quite a bit. So going to the dark side.
Just
Tires,
like
motorcycle tires.
I'm telling you, it's just like the way Darth Vader likes his bagels. A little on the dark side.
See, but if you're going to the dark side, it's not a little on the dark side. You're full
You're
there.
there.
You're
There.
But so I've been looking into it a little bit more also because it does.
Tires
suck.
are not cheap, as I am finding out every 2,000 miles.
Well, burnouts aren't cheap.
No.
But I've been looking into it a little bit more because I've thought about it, and you always hear those people talking about.
Yep.
You don't.
You
It's
don't
good for a
really
straight line.
notice it, yeah.
No, and I've been hearing a lot of the opposite, where it's good for a straight line, but if you like getting into like curvy, into like the twisties and all that,
Yeah.
it's not the same.
And which makes sense because, the motorcycle tires are a fully rounded tire. They don't really have a shoulder. They do at
Except
the
for
very,
yours.
very end.
Except for yours.
Well,
Like
when
I'm
they're
rolling down
done.
the street fat.
When they're done. But most of the guys going dark side are cruiser riders, long distance riders that spend a long time
I saw
straight
someone
lining.
put it on an ADV bike.
I wouldn't have done that.
I think they were just doing it for testing wise, just to see how.
But I mean, it makes sense on the cruisers where you're doing like long distance miles, like
Yeah, you're not getting into the twisties as much.
you're not doing twisties as much.
They're
like,
fun to get into the twisties though. That's the thing.
Yeah, I love throwing the bike around if I can.
Well, and especially like my bike, it's kind of angled a little more towards being a little more sporty.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's why I've thought about it. That means I'd only have to change my tire every
30,000 miles, 20,000 miles,
Yeah,
depending on
what you
probably on a
15 to
20,000
20
mile
probably
tower. Yeah,
easy.
it's which is 5 times or 4 times what you're getting now because you're changing them every 5,000 now. At least the rear.
Yeah.
Fronts will go 10 grand.
So my rear has actually lasted quite a bit though. So
Yeah.
I got to give it that. My rear did
That's
last.
because it
quite a
doesn't
bit.
have any power.
Oh yeah, that's why it just keeps spinning it out all the time.
Well, it does now because there's no tread left on it.
That too.
But no, you're right. I mean, like, I know a guy who's done it on a Victory. I know a guy who's done it on a Harley. I know a guy who's done it on a
Indian Pursuit.
Indian Pursuit. So I know like 3 guys already that have done it.
Yeah.
And each one of those guys I've talked to, and they're like, at the beginning, it feels a little weird. Like when you get towards the edge of your lean, it does feel a little bit weird. But then he's like, I don't really notice it anymore.
And you probably
And I
got
don't lose a ton of traction.
you probably do got to wear it in traction. So the reason is it's not
The
straight
contact
line
patch,
traction. It's cornering traction.
And so, because the contact patch is obviously way different
Yes.
with a dark side because it's a regular car tire. So yeah, for those who don't know what a dark side is,
Yeah, there we go. So
yeah, go for
we
it.
should probably explain that. We've already been talking about it. For
And
a
by
bit.
we should mean you.
So topics, basically. Makes sense. So essentially going to the dark side on a motorcycle is you're putting a car tire. You don't want to put a truck tire.
No.
That'd be just too much. But a car tire on the rear of your motorcycle. There's people that have done it on the front as well.
Yeah,
Eh,
that
don't
I
know
would
about
not
that.
do.
I don't know about that. But essentially when people say going to the dark side, it's you're putting a car tire for your rear tire just for the fact. I think it probably just started just for the fact of you get so much more mileage.
Yeah, because a typical, like even on a sport bike,
And it's cheaper also.
yeah, well, yeah, they're cheaper. On a sport bike, your typical rear tire will wear out in about 5,000 miles,
Yeah.
5 to 7.
Yeah.
Same with a cruiser, like a heavy cruiser like mine. My Harley's heavy,
So
and
it-
it goes through a tire. And it normally goes through a tire between 5 and 7,000 miles on the rear.
So
Front
it
tires
depends.
last 10,000.
It depends on the tire that you get to.
Well, yeah, you can buy the higher mileage tires that are
Yeah.
harder compound, but they don't
get
stick as good.
10 to 15 on the really high end, but you're
I've
really
tried.
pushing
I've
it.
tried one of the big touring ones, and
Yeah.
it's still 7,000 to 8,000 miles was done. Well, to the point where I wasn't going to ride on it anymore.
I
I
was gonna
replaced mine early. I don't ride them till they're flat. But
As a caveat to that, we also do ride really hard.
yes,
If it's just me and Eric, we kind of have a tendency to ride a little harder than if we're riding with a group.
yeah. Or if we're two up, we don't do that two up.
not
Well,
two
I
up.
do.
A little bit, but
I still
get it.
drive like a butthead with her on the back.
but nowhere near what we do when we're alone.
No, because you can't. It's
No,
just not
it's-
the same.
The dynamics of it, the physics of it with lean and everything, but that also plays a factor. And if you ride two up a lot,
Yes.
that plays a factor as well.
Yep.
So I can see where you're getting less mileage even out of a touring tire.
Yeah.
But a car tire, it's something that on vehicles they're supposed to last anywhere from 30 to 80,000 miles.
Yeah,
usually on a
depending
car
on the tire. Yeah.
So
I know one of the guys who dark sided that I know recently. He just did a 40,000 mile tire on his bike.
that's pretty impressive, actually.
Now, will it last that long on a bike? Who knows? I think what'll happen is your shoulders of the tire will wear down quite a bit as you go, which is good because then it'll feel more
it'll
like a
feel-
motorcycle tire. But I don't.
But I wonder if you go into it and you find something, because the big thing about it does bulge it out.
Yeah.
Because you're putting it on such a smaller
Well,
rim, it kind of bulges the center a little.
Yeah.
Even when you're doing that, unless you find a tire that's really small, it'll
Yeah.
stay
There's
really flat.
a specific like size tires that guys are doing this with.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it is
And it
because
probably bulges the center a little,
Yeah.
brings down the edges, but you
Yeah.
still have that kind of hard shoulder.
Yep.
I wonder if, and this is just me kind of going off on my own little thoughts in my head, if you were to shave down a little bit of the shoulder.
I mean, if you got a good tire cutter, because they make them,
yeah,
you can actually angle them and do that. God, I just don't know if I'd trust, because right there on the edge of the shoulder, now you're getting into sidewall, and if you cut any of that sidewall, you're done.
oh yeah, you're screwed. But I'm saying like
So, but just like that edge where it comes together, if you just smoothed it a little bit,
kind of give
little
you a smoother
1/8 inch
transition.
yeah, if you did an 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch, maybe even up to a 1/2 inch on that, right on the edge of that
Right in that
shoulder,
corner of that shoulder.
you might be okay.
Just to start you
Yeah.
out, like.
But I know
you're
like
gonna-
there's also car race tires like BF Goodrich, the KDW2s, which were kind of like a race tire. They have rounded shoulders already, so they were already kind of to that because they're made for racing. They're soft.
But
you only
that's
got
it.
about 20,000 miles out of them though.
But even then, do they make them in a size that you could
Yes.
put them?
They make them on a small enough size.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because guys with neons were running them on their SRT4s.
Yeah, but I still think that might be a bigger rim than, well, depending
Well,
on the
it's
bike you
a-
have. But
I don't know. They're a one. That
'Cause
was like
the
a
rim
195. It's a 195.
I think
I think you're doing 145s or 155s on this for the
Yeah.
dark sides.
I've seen up to like 160.
That's kind of a big one for I don't know.
But I mean, either way, you're talking. Do they make that in that small of a tire? And that's
I mean, there's Facebook groups called Dark Side, and then you look and you can find them for specific. They're like, hey, for this specific model, this is the tire you want to run. Blah blah blah. Like, and there's enough guys who are riding them now that
because that's the thing. If I were to do it, that I've obviously put a little bit of thought into this lately. If I were to do it, I'd be running something that's going to be more of a sport racing style tire,
little lightweight tire,
lightweight,
probably
softer
a 4
compound.
ply, probably 5 ply, maybe.
but something that's a softer compound. It's going to give me still a significant amount of grip
A little stickiness,
because
like a Nitto NT05. That's a race tire that would never last. That's going to last
gonna
about the
last
same
just
as a
the same.
motorcycle tire.
No, but just something because
Yeah.
you think about it, the compound you're using on a car tire, it needs to be harder because
The weight.
just weight in general. But something that, like motorcycle tires, they're made for a lot lighter weight. It is a lot softer compound. No matter what, motorcycle tire you get, it's a lot softer compound.
Well, because you have such a small contact patch. You know, your contact patch on your typical car will be like that,
Yeah,
give or take, and then your motorcycle ones are about that big.
yeah.
So it makes sense. I know on mine I can't do it because of my warranty. I still got a warranty for what's this? What's this? 2025 this year.
Yes.
So next year my warranty will run out in like August. I think I have a 5-year warranty. So 2026 of next, midsummer of next year,
Yeah.
mine will run out, and mine will have a bunch of different stuff done to it at that point.
You already have a bunch of stuff done to yours.
Yeah, but I mean the tuning will change. It'll not be the EPA approved tuning. It'll get a new head pipe for better flow. So I'll have
Turbo?
and there's a new. Oh no, I don't need that. I do not need a turbo on a bike. That would be dumbest thing I could ever do.
But it'd be fun.
It'd be fun right until the point it's not. Because like honestly, like my whiskey throttle doesn't. I don't need any more power.
Yeah.
Like I said, our friend Bob has said that before. He's like, dude, he goes, you try to keep up with me on my turbo bike, and you do a pretty darn good job of it.
Considering, yeah.
And he's like, you're way underpowered, and you're still. He goes, I look in my mirror when we get there. He's like, oh, there he is. He's still there.
Yeah.
But I've got speed limiter on it still. I've still got EPA tunes. So, like that's the one thing I hate about it in Arizona with the EPA tune is it's got the catalytic converter, and they get to like 1,500 degrees, so that heat's coming right on your leg.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of going out the back out of the exhaust pipe. So
And I think we've talked about this before when I rode your bike, and I was just like, holy crap,
It's
this
so
is
hot.
insanely hot compared to like my
yeah,
bike.
well, you don't have the catalytic converter in yours because it's off road use
Well,
only.
but even then, even before,
Well, you also liquid cool. I mean,
yeah.
my bike is designed to blow heat off the top of the heads because that's what the cooling fins are for. I mean, that's
Which, okay, we're going to speak hypothetically for a little bit.
yes.
Hypothetically, I had removed my cat.
No, you
And
have an off road bike only. It's
the-
fine. I'll tell you what, that significantly lowered the heat off that bike though, because I rode it before and after. Significant difference.
No, so I've actually
Theoretically.
I've noticed that, with a cat on that style bike, it was running normally 187, 189. It'd get into the 190s at stops. And theoretically,
Or 214
without a cat,
in Georgia and it shuts off and you fall off.
240.
Oh, 240, my bad. That was a 4 in there.
There was, yeah, you're close enough.
241, close. Just
So,
dyslexia
just-
kicked
yeah,
in again.
The dyslexia kicked in.
Chat GPT hit in again. Or GTP.
You
what
said
is
it right the first time.
Now I don't even. Yeah, maybe my dyslexia is getting fixed.
So, without a cat, for some reason, it's 189, 190s.
So it's a
and
little
then
higher.
It hits 200s.
So I can tell you exactly why that is.
Running lean.
Yes, you need a tune. You're running too lean. You're not dangerous lean to where you're going to blow up yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, when what you're doing is you're taking the air is coming out of it. You need to get more air into it.
Yeah.
So you either more fuel or more air.
Or both.
Well, yeah. Well, which is what actually no. More fuel would make you
Rich.
No, it would make you more lean because you don't have enough.
No, you run lean if you don't have enough
less fuel, not enough air.
If it's, So more fuel would be the remedy.
More fuel would be remedy. So that, which actually means more power.
Essentially.
So, I mean, that's if you tuned it, you probably do need more power. I mean, you're not keeping up now. So,
what are you talking about? Same gear. Same gear. I still
okay,
roll away.
that's like saying I've got a CTSV that's 6,000 horsepower. I'm going to race you in 6th gear, and that's the top gear, and then you've got a 10-speed automatic that's in the same 6th gear. Different gear ratios are a thing, buddy. Come on, you should know better.
I know. I just like to give you crap about it.
It's like, okay, let's go get 2 big wheels, and you've got a front tire that's 30 inches tall, and I've got one that's got 18 inches tall. Who's going to go faster? Yeah. The guy with the 18 inch, because your little tiny legs that skip leg day aren't going to be able to turn that 30-inch wheel.
The exact same thing that you're saying though, is gear ratio.
Well, that's exactly.
It's just
I know
a representation of.
Well, I just wanted to make fun of your chicken legs.
I need to get those socks. I need to get those socks. Have you seen them?
Yeah,
with the chicken leg.
The chicken leg skip leg day. But
the thing is, I don't skip leg day though. I do work on my legs quite a bit. Just like
you just got the widow chicky wings. Yeah, little chicky wings. Sorry.
Well, so I mean, the crazy thing is, people are so surprised hitting leg press or even squatting, like how much weight I'm able to push around. They're like,
well, I mean, you carry around you every day. It's like me too. Like people are like, oh wow, that's a lot of weight you just put up. I'm like, yeah, that's like half of my weight. Like, not that impressive when you think about it. Percentage wise, guys that are a lot smaller do way better.
Oh yeah, yeah. But you're talking about
it's all about it's gear ratios.
That is true.
That is a gear ratio.
When it does come to lifting, like people that have shorter arms can push way heavier weight. People that have shorter legs, same thing. But we went way off.
No.
We want to thank one of our founding sponsors who helped make all of this possible. The Legion of St. Michael Law Enforcement Motorcycle Club International is a 501c3 charitable organization that focuses on first responders and military families in need.
The Legion of St. Michael was founded in 2014 in Chicago, Illinois, in memory of fallen officers. If you are interested in helping to support the Legion of St. Michael in their endeavors to assist first responders and military families, please reach out to a local chapter or contact the Idiots for a link for donations. No, but we're still on the same idea of the gear ratios and stuff. But like,
with that being with the dark side, so
yeah. Well, and the other problem with that is those tires are car tires are slightly heavier.
Yes,
because of the radial belting.
Yes.
So
you have belting in motorcycle tires too.
But not the same.
Yeah,
it's not the same.
It's made for lighter weight still.
Yeah,
it still goes into that. But does going dark side give you better
power?
Launch? That's where I'm kind of going.
I think the extra weight will sap power, but the bigger contact patch might get you a better launch. And depending, it depends on, do you go with a super hard compound car tire? Mm-hmm. Then it's not going to do anything for you. It's just going to spin.
Traction.
But if you're going to get like a reasonable if you do a reasonable to a motorcycle compound tire with that bigger contact patch, even with the extra weight, you'll probably get a better launch.
So that's the funny thing. So
testing, we're gonna have to do like testing.
We might have to. We might have to. So if you guys would like to see us doing some testing,
the best way for us to do it is we'll get him set up for a dyno day, and go up and do a dyno with a motorcycle tire on, and then do a dyno run without the motorcycle tire.
So I wonder if the dyno would really pick that up.
Horsepower, weight, absolutely. The weight of the tire, that's driveline loss. It's a percentage of driveline loss.
But I'm saying, like, would the dyno actually pick up? Because it's probably going to be not insignificant, but
it'll be 2 pounds of extra weight in your drivetrain would make a big difference.
But I'm saying, like, when it comes down to the numbers.
Oh, absolutely.
is that actually going to make that
Absolutely.
significant of a difference?
I would
That's-
bet money on it.
That's a curious thing. So if any of you guys have done this,
Think about this: like guys who do big tires, big heavy mud tires and stuff on Jeeps, they have to re-gear.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they can't run them. It's not safe for the drivetrain.
it's
And that's because there's so much more driveline loss.
yeah.
The horsepower is not getting through the wheels back down to the ground. So when you take a motorcycle tire that might weigh 6.5 pounds, and you go to a car tire that weighs 11 to 14 pounds.
Yeah, it's a significant difference.
So that's guys have even noticed the difference going from a belt drive to a chain drive because chain drive's lighter.
Yeah, and when you to a certain amount of power, you want to go chain drive just because of the stretchiness of a belt.
That's actually a falsehood.
Really?
So the reason being is, what would you rather break? Your transmission or your belt?
I'd rather break a belt.
So that's what, like, I've talked to a couple of guys who build big motors
Do you know how much it would suck to break a chain?
that destroy the case of your bike. But yeah, I've talked to guys who build big motors and they're like, those belts will handle 170, 180 horsepower.
But I wonder if
And they would do stretch.
I was
But that's
gonna say,
why you
I
have to
wonder-
adjust them at a, they only, think about the belts today. We're not talking about a rubber belt. They're Kevlar. They're Kevlar carbon fiber. Like they're not the weak belts of like,
but it still stretches. Kevlar stretches.
oh yeah, stuff still stretches, but so does a chain.
A chain
You
does
got to
stretch,
adjust.
yeah. That's
On
true.
my dirt bikes, I always had to adjust the chain.
Yeah, 'cause
make sure the
they
chain
start to
slaps.
loosen up.
Otherwise, you get chain slap and you throw sprockets and what a pain in the butt.
Screw it. Just go. Drive shaft. So
Well,
turbo
drive
shaft.
shaft has a lot less power loss.
Although
It's
you're
direct
adding
drive.
some extra
You're adding
weight.
some extra weight.
You're
so
adding some extra weight.
to counter, like that Boulevard that I had was a machine, 109 cubic inch motor,
A
and
lot
it
less
was
maintenance too on a
Oh my God, there
drive
was-
shaft.
Yeah, literally, I've maintained it once in the lifetime of that. I just changed it. I'm like, I'm going to change the gear oil out, and I changed out the shaft oil.
Mm-hmm.
Put the new stuff in, and the new stuff, it looked very similar. I mean, you could tell there had been some use on the other one, and more so by the smell. The smell of the gear oil. But when I put the new stuff in, like you didn't notice any difference in how it ran. But yeah, the biggest thing is when I took it out, I was like, okay, I don't see any metal pieces. That's good. There's no sparkly vampires in there.
Yeah, that's maybe a good thing outside of oil, but in oil, you don't want sparkly.
No, you definitely do not. You definitely don't want the metallic paint. Metallic paint, bad inside the motor.
Yes. So, do you think dark side? Because they do this.
I
So-
do think it will sap power.
So, but they do this on the drag motorcycles. Drag motorcycles run car tires.
Yes. Well, it's because the
They're going
motorcycle.
straight
I mean,
line. I mean, they're
and they're looking at a tire like that wide. I mean,
Yeah.
they're doing a 18-inch tire rate, drag slick. It's a car tire, but
Yeah.
let's be honest, those things are putting out stupid 500, 600, 700 horsepower out of some of those bikes.
something
And some
that-
of those nitro bikes are like 1,000 horsepower. It's dumb.
well. And I was going to say, and those bikes end up weighing 300,
Yes.
400 pounds because they're
And their tire spins from the point they leave to the point they let off the gas at the quarter mile. Like it's spinning the entire time. Those guys ride on a very
yeah. Well, so I
like
would
it's
love,
it's a thin line between their burnout for a quarter mile and smoking the tire for a quarter mile. Like they're right on the edge of that traction coefficient. Ooh,
So-
traction coefficient. Do you know what it is?
that's the amount of traction.
No,
you're-
you know what the actual traction coefficient is?
No,
I don't either. I thought you knew.
no, not even.
No,
close.
that's so the accident investigators actually have to use that when they measure skid marks and stuff.
Yeah.
They're actually measuring the traction coefficient and the arc of the slide.
Mm-hmm.
Like all that stuff figures in, and they'll get a mile per hour out of it, and it's pretty darn accurate.
See, that's amazing.
Because what they'll do is, they'll actually figure it in with the CDR
Mm-hmm.
and say, okay, they were going to approximate this speed. The CDR will say when it lost traction, they were going this speed. Like it's crazy how accurate it is. Because people have tried to fight it in court, and then it's like it literally matches
The
what the
math
car
maths.
says.
The
The maths.
So, I was going to say about the drag stuff. I'd love to go drag racing in a car.
Yes,
On a motorcycle?
No. I'll mess around and do like
Yeah.
because it's not. But I like even at the drag tracks, you have to have leather suits on, leather jacket. Like because if you go down, it's going to hurt.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, and then you think like our roads out here, like when we mess around, really don't have good traction.
No.
Well, they spray traction,
they spray
VHT out there. So like when you take off,
sticky.
like
You've seen
if you lift a tire at all, you're going to lift a tire on a drag track. Like they're sticky.
yeah. So have you seen those videos of people stepping on the track and then losing a
And their shoe comes out, step right out of their shoe.
Yeah.
The track wanted your Nikes.
So this kind of brings me into lifting tires, doing all that kind of stuff. The significance of bells on a motorcycle.
Ah, the gremlin bell.
So you see,
Yep.
most every motorcycle you'll see has a bell somewhere,
Especially cruisers.
especially cruisers.
The cruiser guys, the Harley and Indian guys, that's really big amongst the cruisers. Even the like the Gold Ring guys.
Yeah.
A lot of the long distance guys have bells, and it takes the gremlins off the road. So,
what does the bell signify? Why do they have a bell?
well, the bell is to. I don't remember exactly how it goes back to, but the basic premise is the bell. It makes noise while you're riding down the road, and the little gremlins that come out of the street to cause problems for you are attracted to the bell and not the tires and wheels of your bike. So basically, it's to either drive them away or attract them to something that's not going to cause you to wreck out.
Yeah.
And you can't buy your own bell.
Yes.
It has to be a gift. Somebody has to gift you a bell.
Exactly. You can't buy your own because
Yep.
it doesn't have the same effect.
The same magic.
So that reminds me, I actually lost my bell, so I need to get a new one.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Where'd you lose it?
I don't know.
Wonder if it was when going up on the trailer.
No. I don't know exactly when it was, but I noticed it, and I was just like, "Well, that sucks."
Yeah.
But I know
Yeah.
kind of why it ended up happening. I hadn't had that issue
Yeah.
until after I lost the battery, and then I realized that bolt was stripped where I had the bell mounted to.
Yep. It was stripped?
The bolt wasn't stripped, but where it connected
threads,
into.
yeah.
So it's a plastic piece that has.
Imagine that. Let's use
a-
plastic.
It's a plastic piece that has like the little metal insert for the
Yeah.
threads, and the metal insert came out.
Yeah.
So essentially, it was stripped. So I'm assuming that contributed to it, but
Probably.
if we're playing into why you have the bell, a lot of times you end up realizing you lost a bell, and then you're like, "Oh, I almost had this incident,
Yeah.
and it turned out okay,
Yep.
but now I have no bell." So,
So the gremlin grabbed the bell.
the gremlin grabbed the bell.
The gremlin took the bell, and you're safe.
So that's the thing. So guys that
Well,
don't know,
I do the same thing. Like I wear a St. Michael's medallion every day to work, which I think when I retire, I'm going to have it put in a shadow box for my work stuff, so that now that I'm done with work, it can
Yeah.
rest, and I'll get another one. I've got some other ones that I have that I can bless.
there you go.
So I'll get it blessed by a priest, and then like I have a St. Christopher that your girlfriend gave me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's in my bike, and it worked. I got in the car wreck at Bike Week and walked away from it. No or minimal damage to the bike.
Yeah. You didn't go down,
I did not go down.
so that's a big plus.
Yeah, that's the thing is anything I can do to mitigate my risk, I'm going to do it.
That's a lie, and you know it because we do a lot of stupid stuff on
Well, yeah, that's self-induced risk. So risk from other people.
bikes. There you go. Okay.
There you go.
So the bell, for a lot of people that don't know, is it'll be, and actually a lot of dealerships will actually do it for you too. When you buy a new bike, they'll put a bell on there,
And they'll say this is a gift from the dealership.
and they have it mounted on your bike when you
Yep.
drive off the lot. And a lot of people don't know.
So when I went to pick my bike up, one of my buddies came with, and we're standing there in there just talking, and he said he had gone up and bought me a Harley-Davidson bell
There you go.
and handed it to me. Said for your bike so that it's safe.
And it's a almost an unspoken thing amongst
amongst motorcycle
bikers.
riders. So
But a lot of people that don't know, it's kind of a superstition thing.
superstition's big amongst bike riders. It has to be.
And I'm sure we all kind of have a little bit of superstitions that we follow,
Yep.
but a lot of people will say they're not superstitious and still follow certain superstitious things.
Well, and I think some of that is like I'm OCD.
yeah,
I really am. So I think OCD and superstition kind of walk together a little bit,
yeah,
if that makes sense. Because I do think that like if I don't do stuff in a certain order when I'm getting ready
Things
to
are gonna
ride,
go wrong.
something's going wrong. Like
Yeah.
I'll know, like all of a sudden I'm like, I don't feel right. Like something's not right.
Or you're forgetting something.
Yeah. Or I'll leave something. I'll be like, as soon as I get there, I'm like, oh, I totally forgot it.
Yeah. So it's.
So like I have an order of stuff that goes on. Like,
But would you call that a superstition?
yes, because if I don't do it in that order, I don't feel like I did it. Like I feel like something's missing.
Okay.
Even if I have everything still,
Yeah.
something feels off. So like I've actually gotten like partially dressed to ride, and then I forgot my cut. Helmet comes off, gloves come off, glasses come off. Like I go,
You go
I go all the way
back
down
to
to
that
where
step.
that step was, and then I'll restart from that step, and then, okay, I'm good. It's just I don't know if it's superstition as much as, like you said, OCD, but like ball players do that
was
all the
just
time.
about to say.
Ball players, hockey players are super superstitious.
Yeah.
So like you'll notice around Stanley Cup time, guys who don't normally have beards all of a sudden have beards.
Beards.
You don't shave.
Yeah.
Shaving during playoffs, negative. You do not do that. You just messed it up if you lose. It's your fault because you
It's your
shaved.
fault. Yeah. So
And it doesn't matter. Like I don't care if you've got an interview for a Fortune 500 company, you don't shave, and you tell them, I can't. I would have shaved normally, but I can't right now because I'm in playoffs. And anybody who knows hockey players will be like, totally makes sense, man. We're with you. You know, they just know. Yeah. So I don't know.
So it goes into that. There's certain superstitions with when it comes to certain sports, when it comes to certain types of events, even
Come on, AC. Yeah.
certain types of events. Even.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So like, would you call?
Well, like look, Notre Dame, perfect example. They all slapped
all-
the Irish, the Fighting Irish symbol on the way out. Every single one of them.
So okay, so this is
And like, there's videos of like, oh, he missed it, and then you see him come running back, and he goes
He does
back.
it again.
It's just some of it I think is superstition. Some of it I think is OCD for certain things, and then some of it I think is considered from superstition to tradition. I think it walks that line between superstition and tradition.
Okay, so
where
it's
some
funny-
traditions I think started as a superstition, and then it just stuck around.
It's funny that you say that. So we have our little thing we do right before when we're going to do our pre-show.
Yep.
So do you think the national anthem, playing the national anthem before a game, before an event, because if you really think about like sports, you could kind of put it into the realm of like a battle type thing. Like
You
it's
could.
A,
Yeah, it's a battle.
You know?
It's a friendly battle, but yeah.
I mean, either way though, like it's kind of
Yeah.
in that realm of it's a competition,
Mm-hmm.
but it's kind of in that realm people battling for who's best. Right?
Yeah.
So do you think that could be considered?
I think the national anthem is considered a tradition, not a superstition. Because I think that's out of respect for the nation.
Yes.
Because it's not just ours.
No.
So, like, if we're playing against Canada, they play the Canadian national anthem, and they play our national anthem. They play both. I think that's more of a respect thing than necessarily a superstition. It could be. I could say I could flavor it to tradition.
Yeah.
But I think it's more of a respect thing. Because even at the Olympics, they don't really play any national anthems until the winning.
And
then the winners get each national. So the third place, second place, then first place teams all get their
yes.
national anthem played.
Yes.
So I think that's more of a respect thing for their countries, especially like sporting events and stuff. Like we do ours because I would hope that we're doing it as a respect to the flag and the people who have gone before us. Like
Yeah.
for me,
Oh,
it's a
absolutely.
respect thing for sure. We can start whatever traditions we want to. I know initially when we started doing the podcast, we didn't. And then I think it was you that brought it up. And I was like, you know what? We probably should because we're
We don't-
patriots. We believe in our country.
And we don't do it enough.
We should do
as a
this.
country.
Yeah. And
Just
we
in
don't respect
general.
it enough.
So I did bring it up, and I was kind of just like, I think it's a good idea. I like because we really don't like unless you
Yeah.
go to a sporting event and you're there early enough. Even
Yep.
watching, like if you
Oh, I
don't-
stand. Anytime that we're watching it, like
hat off.
and I stand. So like I go to the Bills backer bar here in town,
Mm-hmm.
and went for every Bills game that we can make it to.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as the national anthem comes on, I stand, and it's crazy because first time I did it, I stood up like myself, the wife, and our friends. We all stood up at the same time, put our hands over our hearts, and then everyone else like got quiet. And then all of a sudden you're
You
watching
start
people
seeing
like
people
boop.
do it.
But by the third game,
Yeah.
as soon as it started, everybody was standing up, and that was. I think that respect was contagious a little bit. Like people are like, you know what? We probably should do that.
We probably should.
And for the most part, people got. I mean, you're in a bar, so you can't be. There's going to be a level of noise anyway.
Yeah.
But I think it was crazy, like how after the first time that we did it, and it was like 4 people, and then all of a sudden the next game it was half the room, and then by third or fourth game it was the whole room was standing there and quiet. As quiet as like they're still going to be talking and people ordering food but everybody was standing there. And then at our club meetings we say the Pledge of Allegiance, and we always do a moment of silence for our fallen.
Yes.
And that's something that we are very, I am very strict about as national president. Like every single one of our meetings, you're doing a moment of silence, period.
Because that's part of, what
it's part of the
we
reason
believe
we're
in.
there. Yeah, it's part of the reason we're there is to help fallen families. So paying that little bit of respect is important to me. And
Yes.
yeah, I think that's just... The Idiots want to thank Sketchy Alias, one of our founding sponsors, for everything he has done for us. Sketchy works in vector-based design and has been working in the design field for 15 years.
His designs have been used on coins, apparel, websites, and logos. Sketchy is also a veteran who serves this great nation. Thank you for your friendship, work ethic, and service.
So that because you had brought up Notre Dame and stuff like that, and them hitting the Fighting Irish.
God, what is his name? I know there's a name for him, and I can't remember it.
I don't know.
I just know they do it.
Yeah, but that could have been started as a sign of respect, Because
Yeah.
you're like, so that's why I was saying.
Well, respect can be. I think, like you said, the sign of respect can go to tradition, and then I think they kind of like intermingle. I think some of it is like, okay, well, we've always played the national anthem, like when they were for a time not playing national anthem at kids sports, and then the people in the stands started singing it. It's like, ooh, you done messed up when everybody just starts singing it. Like, and that went from well, we didn't want to offend anybody.
Okay,
if you're offended by the U.S. national anthem in the United States, you shouldn't be here.
It's your fault this time.
Why?
You're going to get my blood pressure up this time.
What?
We don't want to offend anybody with the national
Well, we
anthem.
don't want to offend. It's very offensive to people.
To who?
To the people that we've conquered, it's very offensive. And to people who we influence all the time, it's very offensive. You don't understand how offensive it is, Ubi. Yeah. It's very offensive.
I don't agree.
Oh, totally offensive.
I don't agree. Not in the slightest.
It is so offensive that we should tear down flags and stomp on them and catch them on fire in the middle of the streets.
You know what I think is offensive?
What's that?
When they're playing different national anthems, national anthems that aren't part of a nation, national anthems.
Oh.
Before games.
Like what?
Nope. Not doing it. You're the misogynistic racist over here, not me.
Yeah, exactly right. No, I get what you're saying, but I mean...
That's offensive.
Yes.
I think that's offensive because you're talking about they're doing it in America, in the United States, which has a national anthem, and you're adding extra to it. Okay, I don't care. There is players in pretty much all the sports that are from different countries.
Yeah.
We don't play their national anthem here
No.
because you came to the States to play here in the States.
I'll say the only caveat to that is when like a British national team, so like say a team that's all from Britain comes, and then they're playing a U.S. team, we'll play both.
Yeah, that's different.
We typically play both. Yeah, it's to respect their country for them coming here. But yeah, this whole extra anthem thing, I think it's reasonable.
No, you don't. I can see.
I'm trying to see you. I'll see they might see the mischievous grin a little bit. The mischievous grin might have made a little. I'm trying to just get you to swear because like the last episode, I had like 7 or 8 of them in there. It was bad.
Okay, I'll give myself this one. I think it's bullshit that we do that kind of stuff.
So you got a double.
I got a double on that one.
But no, I agree with you 100%. Like I don't get it.
Because that's the thing is you're here. It's a sign of respect to the country that's giving you everything.
Well, to me, it's the same thing as the people who protest this country. Like, so, okay, you don't like what's happening in Gaza and Palestine. Okay. You're waving around a Palestinian flag and complaining about the U.S.
Yeah.
Okay. Go to Palestine. Go. We'd love to see you leave.
See, so okay,
I
so-
don't want you here.
So there's the caveat to that one, though. People have said, and I think you've said before, go wave someone else's flag in that country.
Oh yeah, go wave the U.S. flag
The
in
US
Palestine. See what
flag.
happens to you.
In many countries, the U.S. flag is one of those kind of exceptions.
Oh well, yes and no.
In certain,
Yeah.
not in every country, because a lot of times,
Yeah.
To give background on it, there's a lot of countries where the people were being oppressed, and they started waving U.S. flags.
Yes.
But
But
because of what it stood
But
for.
that's what they're saying is we want freedom.
Yes.
The people here are complaining about the U.S. government
Yes.
and waving a flag for the country. Like, I'll bring it up. It's gonna be controversial.
I got you going on this one now.
Gays for Palestine.
Yeah,
If
that
you
doesn't-
if
that
you are
doesn't fly.
openly gay in Palestine, and you said that, Hamas
you're
will
not.
throw you off the top of a building.
I was going to say, yeah, you're not.
No,
You're not openly gay in
no,
Palestine. It just,
because they will literally end you.
won't be there no
They
more.
will end you. They will throw you off the top of the building, and that's just truth.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's just truth.
It's one of those you can't.
Yeah.
Certain things you just can't do. But like I said, U.S. flag though in a lot of countries you can.
Well,
it's kind of the exception.
Well, it's because they're seeing the U.S. as a beacon of freedom. Like, hey, we want freedom like the U.S. That's a different story than
no, but
But from the river to the sea, which means we want to eliminate Israel. That's literally what
Yeah.
that whole statement
Yes.
says. And when you talk to people who are at those,
and a lot of people don't know what it
deals.
means.
they don't understand that. They don't
Yeah.
understand that what you're advocating for is the murder of Jews.
What you're saying, and this kind of leads
that's
into
gonna have to
something
get-
we were talking about.
That's gonna have to get
Yes, Muck
muck duck. Yeah, sorry.
So, what a lot of
How
people.
did we get here from bells and superstition?
Because I brought up the national anthem.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But a lot of people don't realize, and it kind of leads back into something we talked about last episode with definitions of words and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and people not understanding. They don't understand what the river to the sea means, and they're just kind of like, well, it means they just want their land back or whatever. They,
Well,
they
and-
have this convoluted idea of what it means.
Well, and here's the thing. You go like they've done archaeological digs in Israel, and guess what? You've got Christians there. There's evidence of Christians there. There's evidence of Muslims there. There's evidence of Jews there.
Yeah.
That's history. It's been everybody's home.
Yeah.
Everybody's home. And even like the Quran does state that the Old Testament and New Testament are books of God.
Yeah.
It's stated in the Quran. So if they're books of God and they talk about Jerusalem and Israel, how is it not real if your religion literally says, and according to the Quran is the only true word and everything in it's truthful,
Yeah.
then how does your truth that the Bible and the Old Testament and the New Testament are real, but then say, well, but we don't believe this part of it.
Yeah.
No, if it says everything in like, I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to get too deep.
It's going to get you
Oh, it
going.
won't get me in trouble. I don't care.
No, not going to get you in trouble. It's going to
Yeah.
get you going. It's going to get your blood pressure up a little
No,
more.
actually, that won't, because I have no sympathy for those people who are ignorant and think that their view trumps anybody else's view. Israel and Jerusalem is for Muslims, Christians, and Jews.
Okay.
It is a place for all of them to coexist, cohabitate, because that is the birthplace of religion.
So I'm going to throw this one out there because
Yeah.
we're kind of on this topic a little
Weird
bit.
skate.
But it's
from Gremlin bells to Jerusalem.
yeah, I don't know how we got there, but
It was a short leap
hey,
somehow.
if you follow the idiots, you kind of know how we got there. Because
Squirrel! It was shiny over there.
but the whole saying of like my truth.
Oh,
So you're talking facts.
hate my truth.
You're talking facts and all this kind of stuff. The saying my truth. My truth, meaning like these are my facts. This is what
Yeah.
I believe. But they're
yeah.
saying it's my truth. These
Oh
are my
no,
facts.
you said your belief.
No. That's what they
Yeah.
mean by it.
Yeah.
But that's their truth.
Yeah, it's not a truth.
What is truth?
That's not truth. Truth is facts. Period.
Okay, so the greatest one I have for this, the greatest like metaphor I have for this is you see that in the sand. Right? So it's laying this way. You
Yeah.
you come up on it like that.
Okay.
Oh, wait, sorry. It would be this way for you. So you
Yeah,
can see
I'm
what it is.
confused.
See, it'd be this way for you.
Yeah.
It's a number.
Yep.
What is it, though?
I don't know. I can't see the full thing.
Is it a 6 or is it a 9?
Could be a 0.
This part.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it could be a 6 or 9. Depends on perception.
See, but perception is truth in the
No,
people
it is
saying
not.
that. But
Perception is not truth.
which there's great illustrations for it of like stuff and to make
Yeah.
shadows. And
Is this
you
two
see it
people
from the
looking
side.
at each other or a candlestick?
So is it
It's both.
a 6
It
or
could
a
be.
9?
It could be both.
So my answer to this is it depends who wrote it. Were
It
they
depends
writing
on
a
how
6
it
or a
was
9?
written, or did they just fall over in the dirt?
But you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
no,
it's-
yeah.
it-
It's the
because it
content of
could
who
be-
wrote it.
It could be the 6. It could be a 9.
Yep.
But it depends on who wrote it. And it could also be a character in whatever language they use. So there's 3 possibilities.
Yeah.
So you could be right. You could be wrong. Most likely you're wrong. Your truth is wrong.
Yeah.
And facts, emotion doesn't play into facts.
No, it does not.
And so you were talking about all these people saying, you know, this, that, and the other, and you found all this different type of archaeological finds.
Evidence. Yeah.
So what is the fact? What is the truth?
Well, the fact is that all 3 religions have lived there at one time or another. So in this case, for the river to the sea, get rid of Israel because, they were never a real country anyway. That literally just told you that's not the truth. They have been there
But
before the creation of Israel.
But it's their
they lived
truth.
there.
But it's
No, it
their
isn't.
truth.
It's not their truth. Not at all.
That's how they feel.
I don't care about your feelings. Your feelings can suck my balls.
I'm on that same view with you, but I like to just try to.
Well, I don't care. You're not going to fire me up with my truth. That's all bull. You can beep that one. I don't care.
I'll get you on that one.
It just is. I mean, that's just, it's my truth. That's like, that's like born again virgins. Oh, well, I'm a virgin. I haven't had sex in 6 years, so I'm a virgin again. No, you're not.
No, that's not how it works.
Oh, that's my truth.
But that's not how.
No,
things
but that's
work.
my truth.
But it's the same thing.
That's the game that's played, and it's like, no, you're not. Who cares? Like, I don't care that you've got to pass. That's the whole thing. It's the past.
But
Who
it's the
cares?
new definition of the word.
I don't care. That's not a new definition of the word. That's your idiotic definition of the word.
You know what I'm
Because you're a
saying?
moron.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Though it's kind of that. It's all a little intertwined there, but
Oh yeah, it's trying to put people themselves in a better light because they think this is what the version of what people want. I just want you to tell me the damn truth. Oh my God, amazing. Be truthful from day one.
the truth can be manipulated.
No, it can't. The truth is the truth.
I just wanted to try to.
You're not going to fire me up on that. That's not going to happen.
No, but I do agree on what you're
Like,
saying.
oh, hey,
It's
hey, hold on. Ready? Here's a good one for you. The Chinese are now saying that that COVID came from the U.S.
That is hilarious.
So the coronavirus in Wuhan, China, that shut down the city, where did it come from? Oh, we said it's going to be bats. Oh, that's funny. So the Norovirus Research Center for Coronavirus in Wuhan, China had nothing to do with it? Like, there's a whole thing that if you look at John Daly does a good thing on that.
John
on one of
Daly.
the late night shows, yeah.
Jon Stewart.
Or Jon Stewart, yeah.
I was like, John Daly's a golfer.
Golfer. I was looking at your golf club. And then, so he does like a whole long thing about it. And he's like, if you're that dumb to think it didn't come from Wuhan, China, from the Research Center for Neuroviruses and coronavirus research, like, wow, it's crazy. It came from here. And that's where all the first cases started, but it came from the U.S. Now,
was just
I'm
like
not
saying-
saying the U.S. wasn't involved in some way, shape, or form on the development
'Cause
of
there's-
said coronavirus.
There's certain evidence to say, but
Based
on
it ultimately came out of that lab. You can look at the spread. Like, literally, if you go back to the first case to the last, like, you can literally see it grow. It was like watching, was it the movie Outbreak? Like,
you
in 24 hours, it's
have you
going
ever
to be
seen
here.
that
Oh my
phone
gosh, you're
game?
kidding me.
Have you ever seen that phone game Plague?
Yes, I have.
I used to
It's the
love
same
that
thing.
game. It's
Same idea.
Yeah, you see the map start to grow and all that
Yep.
stuff.
But it's the same idea. Like, now, so the Communist Party is creating their own new truth about it. It's like you talk to people who are in North Korea. Oh, the United States doesn't even have electricity. And then
Kim
the people
Jong-un is amazing golfer, by the way.
Oh yeah,
according to them.
yeah. He gets an 18 on every course. 18 holes, yeah.
That's
Or he gets a 9 or whatever. I don't know but yeah, that's. But then like you have the people who defect from North Korea and then like end up like visiting the U.S. and there's been a few really good
there was a lady that went
interviews
on
and
Joe
she was
Rogan
like,
and stuff and
yeah, like we thought the U.S. had nothing, and then like I flew into Los Angeles and was like,
what is this?
am I back in North Korea?
Well, so you can see,
yeah.
you can see even on the maps what they show at night, and you're seeing all the lights.
Yeah.
You see South Korea
Lit
a
up.
lot of
North
lights.
Korea, nothing.
Yeah.
Door flapping. It's because the AC unit's sucking so much air.
So what I was going to say is, so
good.
truth can change, though.
I mean, I guess because for them, that was truth because that's all they've ever known. So, and I'll even say with this, kids in Afghanistan were taught growing up that America was the great Satan. That's all they ever know. They learned how to use AK-47s at age 6. That's normal.
Okay, but
But that's not truth. That's normalcy.
Yes.
That's normalcy versus truth,
no, but
and it's a
truth,
perception of normalcy.
So this is what I was getting at, and you went off on a really good topic. I think we should probably add that to our things and talk
We'll
about
do that for another one. Yeah,
But
that's nature versus
Truth.
nurture stuff. Yeah.
truth can change because truth is based on evidence. Sometimes there's new evidence, and it changes the truth.
Well, yeah. Think about it. So, people always say, "Oh, there was no weapons of mass destruction in Iraq." Okay, we didn't find nuclear bombs. Gotcha. But we found enough shells and artillery dumps that had the ability to deliver chemical weapons,
yes,
which were also prohibited. That's the word I was looking for. Were also prohibited because of the arms treaty. So he wasn't even supposed to have the shells that could deliver the possibility of chemical weapons. Now, there's guys that I know that were over there were like, we found chemical weapons. Like, it just was, we blew them up. We just blew them up in a depot with everything else. We didn't really think twice about it.
yeah.
But nobody knew that it was going to turn into, oh my God, the U.S. made this up, that there was weapons of mass destruction.
You have a job to do.
Well, and let's go
execute
by
that
the
job.
traditional definition of a weapon of mass destruction. It is a
big
device.
bomb.
It's a device that creates a large amount of death in a small period.
Yes.
They had 155 millimeter shells that if you took into a city center and blew up, you would kill 30, 40, 50 people.
Yeah.
That's a weapon of mass destruction.
Yeah.
By today's definition.
Because the standard, just not necessarily
A dirty
pipe
bomb. That's considered
Yeah.
a dirty bomb.
I was
But
gonna
like
say,
a
pipe
roadside bomb, an
wouldn't-
IED.
could be considered
Yep.
that because it's, and mass shootings fall into that category. I think it's like
Yeah,
14 or above.
No, it's 4 or more.
4?
4 or more killed in a
there was-
shooting, I
okay.
think, is
There was a 4 in there.
considered. Yeah, is considered. I think that's what it was. The FBI changed their stats recently.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it is, and I think it does not include first responders. I think in their actual
that's
thing,
kinda-
because they did not
Oh,
rumble, kids going to work. So, I want to say they did not include the Dallas
so
shooting
yeah,
as a mass shooting because it was just against police officers.
that's kind of ridiculous. But
I think that's the way it was categorized. I'd have to
So-
look back at it. Like so guys in the comments, if you know, let us know because I'm going off things that I've read like 4 or 5 years ago, and I'm trying to like this was not in the topics we were
No,
going to
we
discuss
just
today.
kinda
So
went off.
oh yeah, we went
went
stratosphere in a different direction. So
'Cause it's
we
the
went
same
from
thing as-
rebuilding a single engine golf cart to hey let's build this new Koenigsegg.
oh, geez, that was awesome.
That was pretty.
actually. That was
Pretty
amazing.
nice, pretty nice car.
But I think I want to introduce this to being our signal.
So with that, we're going to say live good,
Ride hard.
and we will
We'll
catch you next time.
time.